I'm Talia Ricci. Tonight, thousands attend an open-air mass with Pope Francis as he continues his Canadian tour.
I could feel it in where I was sitting. I could feel the hurt, the pain.
We'll hear reaction to the Pope's apology from local Indigenous communities. Plus,
to serve the people of Hamilton Centre, to work for them and achieve for them is through the mayor's position.
Andrea Horvath hopes to make a political comeback in Hamilton. And
the fans have been tremendous. I've heard from fans all across North America.
Veteran Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez was back in the booth tonight, returning from his time away from the job after being diagnosed with cancer. We begin with breaking news tonight. A child has been struck and killed by a GO train in Mississauga. It happened in the area of Dundas Street East and Cawthra Road. Dale Manukduk is at the scene and joins us live. Dale, what can you tell us so far?
Natalia, I'm outside 620 Lolita Gardens where police just provided an update. What we know now is that around 7:45, Peel police responded to a medical emergency in the area of Cawthra and Dundas. They located a young child who was struck by a train, and they tried to provide medical assistance, but unfortunately, tragically, that child was pronounced dead on scene.
We're asking tonight for privacy for the family as they try to process this tragic incident here tonight.
Now, that was about all of the detail that police would provide. They would not confirm the age or gender of the child, but Mayor Bonnie Crombie of Mississauga, she tweeted out about an hour ago that the child is 4 years old, also sending her condolences to the family.
Now, Dale, what about the train? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we know that it was the final westbound train of the Milton line, and we're about 30 kilometers away from the final destination. We don't know how many passengers remain on board at the moment, but Metrolink says that at the start of the ride, there was over 350 passengers. When we arrived on scene, the train was still parked underneath an overpass where several passengers were still on the train as police conducted their investigation. Metrolink says that many of the passengers and crew were all profoundly impacted, and they'll be providing grief counselors to its crew. We also know that Metrolinx and CP Rail will be conducting its own investigations. Now, I'll also note that many of the community members here have come outside, and that might be partly due to the fact that there's a power outage here. We don't know if it's connected, but several of the residents around here say that there's an entryway on the opposite side of the buildings that leads to the train tracks, so it provides an easy access for people to cross as opposed to walking all the way around to get to this residential community. Now, we don't know if the child was doing that or if they were with their parents, as this investigation is still early on. Police are asking that anyone with information contact them. Talia.
Thanks, Dale. That's Dale Manukduk reporting live for us in Mississauga tonight. Turning to the Pope's Cross Canada tour, the pontiff wrapped up his visit to Alberta tonight in Lac St. Anne, west of Edmonton, where primarily Catholic pilgrims have come for more than 130 years. The Pope performed a blessing at the annual event, which holds special significance for Indigenous Christians. July 26 marks the Feast of St. Anne, who is considered to be the grandmother of Jesus. Indigenous culture places strong importance on the grandmother figure. Earlier today, the Pope celebrated Mass at a football stadium in Edmonton. It was a traditional service, and as Olivia Stefanowicz reports, some Indigenous people were hoping for more.
A meeting with the faithful. A chance to speak to Catholics directly about the kind of society they want to build.
A future in which the history of violence and marginalization suffered by our Indigenous brothers and sisters is never repeated.
During his homily, Pope Francis didn't reiterate his residential school apology, something commentators were critical of.
This Mass was a missed opportunity of the celebration of Indigenous spiritual ways.
The Pope's words did resonate with this residential school survivor.
He's trying to direct us, I believe, the path forward.
But he and many others want the church to go further.
They need to do is to rescind the doctrine of the discovery that really imposed a law on our First Nations people.
I understand that there is a Vatican document that will be coming out that will address that.
This Canadian Archbishop anticipates more from the Church to address the papal decrees that justify the seizure of Indigenous land by colonial powers.
It would be very good if the Pope could make that even clearer.
The atmosphere at the Pope's open-air Mass much different from his visit to Masquachese, where he officially apologized for residential schools, something many survivors hope he builds on as he continues his tour of Canada. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Edmonton.
The Pontiff's apology has stirred many emotions for survivors of the residential school system and their families. Ali Chiasson takes a look at how the Pope's visit is being received by members of Ontario's Indigenous communities.
Everyone has a different relationship with religion. I think everyone has a different relationship to their own family story, and people will receive this differently. And I think it depends on how impacted their own lives have been through colonial trauma or religious trauma. I think that Indigenous peoples have a right to that different opinion as well.
People are also in different phases of healing. As a day school survivor herself, Courtney Skye and thousands of others are currently going through the process of applying for settlement money with the government.
When you're filing claims or you're participating in these processes, you're required to kind of bear all your truth to qualify to be recognized in some way. And this is something that residential school survivors had to go through with their claims. And so I think our communities are just a bit raw again.
I can feel it in where I was sitting. I could feel the hurt, the pain.
Ontario MPP Saul Mamakwa just got back.
The words that I heard, oppression, colonialism, those are good words that people use, settlers use, like institutions that colonize people speak those words without really doing anything.
What we can do, Mamakwa says, is advocate for change by reaching out to local representatives and demanding it.
Your MPPs or MPs to make sure that they have an opportunity to make change within the education system whereby they teach the real history of Canada.
The catalyst for this apology, the discovery of unmarked graves last year, has created a momentum that Skye says must be kept up.
It seems like the church has heard that call. They've recognized, kind of their role in perpetuating the systemic violence. Now, are other people going to recognize their role in that as well and then be motivated to act?
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
A national Indian residential school crisis line has been set up to provide support for residential school survivors and others affected. People can access emotional and crisis referral services 24 hours a day at 1-866-925-4419. The city is getting a new affordable housing project, one that will be geared mainly towards Indigenous seniors.
This will be the first nonprofit developed housing now site led by an Indigenous organization in Toronto.
Mayor Tory announcing the new development at a ceremony this morning. It will be located near Yonge and Davisville. The project is being led by the Missinaibi Cree First Nation. The mayor says it will provide more than 90 new affordable rental homes for Indigenous elders. There will also be a ceremonial space and a smudging room. The development will also include homes for seniors from other backgrounds. Well, after almost a decade and a half leading the Ontario NDP, Andrea Horwath is set to face a new challenge. She's making a run at Hamilton's mayoral office. Natalie Collada has the details.
I'm here to share with Hamiltonians that I am going to be walking across the street to file my nomination papers.
And with that, the former leader of the Ontario New Democrat Party confirms the rumors, now officially running for mayor of Hamilton.
I definitely respect the people of Hamilton Centre. I have great gratitude for them, but I really believe that my best way now, going forward, to serve the people of Hamilton Centre, to work for them and achieve for them, is through the mayor's position.
This will be the name as president. If successful, Horwath will be the city's first female mayor. While she isn't the only candidate running, her years as leader of the provincial NDP means she is very well known, for better or worse.
She'll get the change that Hamilton so deserves, because we are so behind in like every other city.
I've got no opinion on that at all.
I think by her running this kind of a campaign, she's going to split the vote, and we're not going to get the candidate that we should get.
Among those running, the city's former mayor, a labor leader, and the president of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce.
We have a real race now, and all eyes of Ontario are on the Hamilton mayor's race.
Candidate Keenan Loomis says his campaign has seen a boost in volunteers and financial support in the last 24 hours.
Name recognition is one thing, but it cuts both ways. People want change, not somebody who came to council in 1997.
Platforms and policies are expected to be unveiled in the weeks and months to come, with light rail and the urban boundary expected to be among the top issues.
She just opens up the vote in many different ways. The kind of the clear lines that were separating the existing candidates get complicated because on some issues she's closer to one and on others she's closer to the other.
To this political scientist, it's clear Horwath will have some work to do.
I think she has the challenge of convincing Hamiltonians that she knows where the city is at after being away as a party leader for 13 years.
The municipal election is scheduled for October 24th. Natalie Coladas, CBC News, Toronto.
And Premier Ford issued a statement after Horwath announced her intentions to run for Hamilton mayor, saying, "As I said the day after the election, let there be no doubt that Andrea wakes up every day ready to fight for what she believes in. I want to thank her for her years of public service, both as the leader of the opposition and as MPP for Hamilton Centre." Environment Canada confirming a tornado touchdown in eastern Ontario over the weekend. Officials say at least one twister hit the Marmora and Maddock areas north of Belleville Sunday evening. Winds are believed to have peaked close to 200 kilometers an hour. However, more work is being done to determine the exact speed and how far the tornado traveled. A number of other communities were also impacted by the storms that raced across the province. Dahlia Ashry joins us now for a first look at the forecast, and it's definitely too early for this, but the last couple of cooler evenings kind of reminded me of fall.
Talia, I wish I could say that summer's coming to an end, but it's not. Actually, do I wish that I want to say it? No, we like summer. We want to stick around. But the humidity, though, that's what we want to go away, you know, that stickiness. So the next few days, you have a bit of a chance in there to spend some time outdoors, get some ice cream, and you're going to get a bit of a break from that humidity, but you're going to have to prepare and keep that umbrella handy. The daytime highs right now are 23 degrees for today. In Kitchener, 25, Windsor, 26. So overall across the region, pretty cool weather right now. The precipitation forecast, let's see what's happening. Are we going to get that rain? Wednesday, 8 a.m. starting off your commute. Tomorrow, clouds. We get a little bit of precipitation coming in, as you can see that green activity right there. That's the rain. And as we get into Thursday afternoon, well, it starts to clear up a little bit and some cloud coverage later on. As for tonight, it will be 16 degrees. Tomorrow, 27 degrees. Enjoy that because it won't last too long, and I'll tell you why later on in the show.
Thanks, Dahlia. Veteran Blue Jays broadcaster Buck Martinez was back in the booth tonight. The 73-year-old stepped away from the job in mid-April after being diagnosed with cancer.
The fans have been tremendous. I've heard from fans all across North America, and I want to thank you all for the signs, the prayers, and there's no doubt that all of your good words helped me get through this tough time, and they helped me a lot. And I heard from a lot of people, too, that have been dealing with their own health issues, and I hope my journey has helped you handle those, face on, and fight the good fight.
Buck's ties to the Jays date back to 1981, when he started a 6-year stint as one of the team's catchers. He played 17 years in Major League Baseball, including stops with the Kansas City Royals and Milwaukee Brewers. He first stepped behind the microphone in 1987 as a color commentator for Jays games on TSN. Longer than usual lines have been seen in Toronto this week for monkeypox vaccine clinics. It follows an emergency declaration by the World Health Organization about the growing outbreak of the virus. Tonight, public health officials here say they're ready to meet the increased demand. Meg Roberts has more.
I just want to be precautious and not get it. It's a horrible thing to get. It's painful.
Gino Berti
stood in line for his monkeypox shot Sunday. He's one of about 11,000 people who have received the vaccination in Toronto, and those numbers are climbing. Toronto Public Health says there's been a growing interest since the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a global emergency.
They feed you through so quickly, and it's completely painless. You don't feel a thing.
Although the demand is increasing, Toronto Public Health says at this time there's no concern about a vaccine shortage.
At this point, all's looking well there, and we will continue to do the best we can and respond in the most effective way possible.
Vaccine clinics are running 7 days a week in Scarborough, Etobicoke, and Metro Hall. And tomorrow there will be a pop-up clinic at the 519 in Toronto's Gay Village.
We've had some practice over this or about this in the last couple of years with COVID vaccination efforts, and I know that they're deploying those techniques.
Public Health says clinics are for individuals who identify as gay, bisexual, or men who have sex with men. But infectious disease experts want people to know anyone can get this infection, and vaccinations could be one way in stopping the spread.
We still have to acknowledge in July of 2022, the risk to the general public right now is negligible. But if we don't take steps to curtail this quickly, obviously that can change with time.
According to Public Health, the majority of those 288 confirmed cases in the province are in Toronto. In order to limit the spread, public health officials are recommending people limit their skin-to-skin contact with others, as well as clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces and talk to your sexual partner about their health. Meg Roberts, CBC News, Toronto.
An electrical fire on Line 2 forced the TTC to suspend subway service between St. George and Pape stations, leading to long early morning delays. The fire broke out at Bloor-Yonge Station shortly after 7 a.m. during the morning commute. It led to large crowds trying to hop on shuttle buses or grab a streetcar. Police performed crowd control at Pape and Broadview stations, but traffic congestion lasted a few hours in the area. The main fire was put out by Toronto Fire after 11 a.m. and Line 2 was fully reopened just after 1. A youth-led group in Regent Park is working to fill gaps in supports for vulnerable young people. Youth Empower Youth launched just before the pandemic. It surveyed hundreds of young people about the barriers they face when it comes to accessing support. Farah Morali met up with them.
Hi, my name is Raisa and I'm a youth lead with Youth Empower Youth.
Hi, my name is Fatiha and I'm also a youth lead with Youth Empower Youth. So Youth Empower Youth is a youth-led research program within the community of Regent Park. It focuses on breaking the barriers to programming for youth in the community.
So the programming that we do was based off of the research findings from the survey and focus groups that we held. So from the 350 youth that participated, we were able to create like a one-pager of the research findings, and from that we are able to see like what youth really wanted. So from that we were able to see like martial arts, so we did the self-defense one, and the art program that we're currently hosting is also something.
And due to the revitalization, we did have a lot of things moving around, shifting places. We had new programs that launched that youth didn't necessarily know about. We were able to create a map and sort of have a place where youth can kind of look at to figure out what they're trying to be a part of, what they want to be involved in. So the Crisis Care Fund was actually brought forth by youth workers in the community who brought up the fact that like a lot of the support that they need to provide youth with, the expenses are coming out of their own pockets. So youth are given up to $500 in which the youth workers can support them with.
Hi, my name is Isa. I'm a community revitalization assistant with Toronto Community Housing Corporation. A lot of the youth wanted to be involved and do something during the pandemic, and this really gave them an opportunity to go out, channel their voice, get new programs, and speak for what they need in the community as well.
Now, why was it so important for you to be part of a program like this personally?
We wanted to be able to help the youth in the community because we grew up here and we've kind of seen the community evolve.
And I think because there's so much changing, youth are the ones that are going to stay in this community for future years, and I think it's important for them to just make these connections.
Dahlia is back now with our extended forecast, and I wouldn't mind if some of that midsummer heat returned.
Yes, well, Talia, you know what? We had that heat warning that was throughout the weekend. Yesterday night, we got a little bit of a break with that rain, and we might see a little bit more of that rain. So I don't know, Talia, if I'm going to have much good news that you want to hear, but maybe some people might like this rain situation. So have a chance to go outside, get some ice cream, because you'll have a day where it will be nice. And we're going to get a break from that humidity, and then the rain's going to come back. The daytime highs for today, 23 degrees, 24 in Oshawa, Kitchener 25, London 25, Windsor 26. So overall, a little bit cooler today compared to the past few days. Now, we are expecting some rain that is going to be coming. So tomorrow morning, as you can see here, a lot of that cloud coverage that's starting to make its way into the GTA, and that precipitation right there that is making its way as well Wednesday afternoon. As we head into Thursday, start off your commute on a cloudy note. But again, that rain coverage will be making its way through and passing through 4 p.m., about 30% chance of rain, and that will be sticking around. And then it starts to clear up by the evening. By tonight, temperatures will drop to 16 degrees. You get a little bit of a break, a little bit of a cool down, because tomorrow afternoon, 27 degrees, some cloud coverage here and there, but it will feel like 32 degrees with that humidity. And Talia, I know you said you like that heat, so you'll get a little bit of that tomorrow. As for tonight, temperatures will cool down. Toronto 16 degrees, Markham 14 degrees, Mississauga 13. So a lot cooler in Mississauga. Enjoy that while it lasts. Tomorrow will feel like 32 degrees, and that rain that we were talking about, well, it's going to continue Thursday and Friday. Friday, though, will be 30% chance of rain, so it's not so bad. But Thursday is what we really want to keep our eye on, and keep your umbrella with you because you will need it. But then there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Saturday and Sunday, we get that sunshine again. So Talia, just what you wanted, and maybe other people who are looking for that sunshine. 27 degrees on Saturday, and Sunday, 31 degrees.
Perfect. Thanks, Talia. And that's our show for you tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Dwight Drummond has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. Good night.